Hello, welcome back to Lady Love Said Reads. My name is Jessica, and in this video I want to share with you my BookTube channel and reading goals for 2024. I got this reading journal from Owl Crate, and I'm hearing that Owl Crate is like problematic, hearing whispers of that, but I haven't had a chance to really research it. So if that is like offensive or whatever, I apologize in advance. But I have the reading journal, so I'm going to use it this year. In the back of the journal, I wrote my goals. You know, whenever you think about goals, at least for me, when I think about goals for a new year, just setting goals, because you can set goals any time of year. It doesn't have to be at the start of the year, right? But I always like to reflect on like, what's my purpose? Why am I doing this? What do I want out of it? And that kind of thing. And you know what? With BookTube, ultimately, I have several like faceted reasons for why I enjoy being a part of BookTube. One is I just like to document my life. Like I used to be a really avid scrapbooker and I'm not anymore, but this kind of supplements that. Like with my weekly vlogs, I get to sort of document my life and the things that happen and the things that make me happy. And that's part of the reason that I started it. Another reason I really like being part of the community is because I absolutely love to read. It's like my favorite thing to do. If I have an ounce of free time, I'm picking up a book and reading. And whenever I have time off, people are like, what are you going to do on your time off? I'm like, read. So it's always the first thing I want to do whenever I have like free time. And so since it's such a big part of my life, I like to be able to share what I'm reading with others and talk to everybody about it and like just share this passion for stories with other people and build like that community. And then like the third reason is I get to meet so many really cool people on BookTube, and some of the people I've met through BookTube have become really important people in my life. And none of this is new or different. Like none of this makes my channel any different from anyone else's. Like I think that's why a lot of people join the book communities, because they want to meet cool people, and they do meet cool people and make friends and things like that. So my purpose for being here is really not all that different from anyone else's purpose for being here. So I'm not trying to like be a pick-me girl there, but in thinking about that, my purpose and channel goals, I also reflected on the past year, 2023. I have major burnout in 2023, like bad burnout. And part of it was because of just things going on in my life. And part of it was me not managing my time well. I mean, you know, anytime you have burnout, there are a lot of reasons why you have burnout. And I've noticed that on BookTube, a lot of my friends on BookTube, or just the people that I follow and really like appreciate, they're burning out too. They're burning out pretty bad. And some have left the community entirely, and some have really revamped how they do things, and some people have like one of the people I really like, she deleted all of her past videos so that she could just start fresh. And so I wanted to kind of learn from other booktubers about why are they burning out and how are they coping with it, and how are they now approaching participating in this space in a way that works well for them and doesn't burn them out. So I'm keeping my goals really simple, and there's not a lot of them. I did break it up into two different sections, channel goals and reading goals. And then there's just 3 for both. So for channel goals, my goal is always to post 2 times a week. Do I always meet that goal? No, I don't. But this is a hobby and I'm not going to beat myself up over it. But the goal, you know, is post twice a week. So I like to post a weekly vlog and then one other like sit-down video. That's the ultimate format and goal that I would like to do. Hopefully, as I'm recovering from burnout here, I like started the recovery process in November. And since putting into place certain like strategies, I'm feeling so much better, and I'm feeling like 2 videos a week is a lot more realistic. But I'm also like I said, not going to beat myself up if I don't meet these goals, because this is a hobby. This is not life or death. I don't make any money doing this. This is all for fun. You know, it is what it is. So yeah, that's goal number 1 for the channel, is to post 2 times a week. Goal number 2 is to learn 3 new editing skills. I was really into learning different editing strategies when I first started because I knew nothing. And then I kind of got complacent once I learned the basics, and I haven't really learned anything new. But I think in order to really inspire some creativity, I need to learn a few more editing skills. Because sometimes I'll have like a vision of what I want to do with a video, but then I can't do it because I don't know how to do that in my editing software. So I'd like to learn at least 3 new editing skills this year to kind of nurture that creativity. And then the third goal is don't burn out. Don't burn out. Find a way to be in the space that feels nurturing and fun without it becoming draining or feeling like work and burning out. Those are my 3 channel goals. That's it. My reading goals, every year I set my Goodreads goal to 100 books. So that's a pretty easy number for me to meet every year, is I read about 100 books. Usually I go over 100, but 100 is a safe number. So my goal for the Goodreads number of books to read in the year is 100 books. My second goal is to read 10% more of my physical TBR. I haven't completely finished nailing out these numbers yet. I'm rebuilding a bookshelf, or not rebuilding, but building a new bookshelf in my library. And as I'm building, I'm like weeding out books that I know I'm not going to read and whatever. So by the time I finish building and loading up that last bookshelf, I will have my actual number of how many books I own, and of those books, how many I've actually read. So once I have that number, I'll be able to give you some specifics, probably in my January TBR, December wrap up, or something like that. But basically, whatever number it is, read to unread, I want to increase the number of read by 10%. My ultimate goal is that I have about 80% of my physical books read. I don't want more than 80% because then you don't have much to look forward to, right? So 80% feels like a good number of read to unread ratio for me. That's a number I'm comfortable with, and I'm not going to force myself to get there immediately. I'm going to do increase by 10% year over year until I hit that 80%. If that makes sense. My third goal is to track the stats I actually care about. Last year, I was tracking all kinds of stats like page number, BIPOC authors, women authors, format, year of publication, like just a lot of stuff. I would track genre, tropes, themes, like it was a lot. It was a lot. Translated, not translate, like a lot. And I honestly don't really care about all of that information. I was just tracking it all because I felt like I should. And then it got so convoluted that by the end of the year, like October, I was like, my numbers are way off. So I just stopped. I stopped keeping track of everything in October, and I don't have stats to share with you now at the end of the year, other than like the number of books that I read. Maybe I can look at some of my stats on like StoryGraph and share some of those, but that's all that I have because it just got convoluted. It got to be too much to keep track of, and so I stopped doing it. So this year, I want to really figure out what are the stats that I actually care about knowing with my reading and track only that. So the stats that I picked out that I actually care about would be how many BIPOC, LGBTQIA, or authors with disabilities that I read, because I want to make sure that I'm reading from marginalized voices. I want to track how many pages I read, because the pages you read, I think, gives you a better idea of how much you're actually reading rather than the number of books, since books can be really big, 1,000 pages or 70 pages, right? So I want to track the number of pages that I read. I want to track the publication date and see if I can keep a good balance of reading backlist stuff with new releases. I want to track how much I'm reading from Kindle Unlimited, since it's something I pay for and subscribe to. So I want to make sure I'm getting my money's worth out of that. And if at the end of the year I'm not reading much from KU, I can end that subscription or, you know, keep it. And then, of course, the one tracking how much I read from my shelves. So those are my 3 reading goals. Read 100 books, 10% more of my physical TBR, and track the stats that I care about and nothing else. Those are my goals for 2024 and my thought process and logic for how I decided on those goals. And I'm really curious to know what your goals are for 2024, if you even have them. If you don't set goals, let me know why you don't set goals. If you do set goals, let me know what your goals are. And if you just want to leave me an emoji to let me know that you're here, go ahead and leave me a trophy emoji, because we're going to celebrate at the end of 2024 and give ourselves a trophy when we've met all of our goals. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, and take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!